bumming with Bob. Let's have a few brews. We'll have some fun with the bum wine crew. So kick your feet up and grab you a beer. 'Cause damn, man, I'm glad that you're here.
All right. This is Bum Wine Bob. Welcome to an all-new edition of Bum with Bobcat on Premier Podcast Network. And this week we are going to be throwing back a few drinks with one of the... she calls herself a social media influencer and a sports entertainment enthusiast. You might know her on the social media realms as KayFabeulous. Amanda is here with me today. Amanda, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'll be better in a minute once I crack open one of these drinks here tonight. So I'm gonna crack. You got one ready to crack open over there?
I actually have cracked it already.
Oh, you're already ahead of me. So all right, that's fine. So I'm gonna crack open one here, and we're kind of keeping it a little higher class. I mean, I don't know how your drinks are class-wise compared to mine. So I guess we should say, full disclosure, you are from the great country of Canada, and so different types of drinks. Because originally, when we were coordinating this podcast, I had said, "Oh, you brought up that you had Four Loko like one time," and I said, "Oh, I know what we need to do." And then you said they don't have Four Lokos in Canada, and I'm like, "What the hell?
No,
is wrong with this country?"
Isn't it also like illegal in a lot of states, or did I like make that up? I feel like I had it when I went to Florida, and somebody when I was in Florida said that it's like illegal in all states except for like Florida and Vegas, and I'm like, well, this makes sense because this is insane.
I mean, once the original Four Lokos, yes, when it had the original Four Lokos that had the caffeine mixed with the alcohol, those.
So that must have been what I had, because I had it like, oh my god, a good like.
I mean, this was like from it was from like they originally came out in 2005, like the original from like 2005 to 2010 was like the ranges that had the caffeine, and then around 2010 they started to ban them in a lot of states and countries. Because I looked right now, I was looking up. Here, so on the Four Loko website, it said somebody asked a question: is Four Loko banned in Canada? It said in Canada, it is illegal to mix caffeine with alcohol, but we removed caffeine from our ingredient list as part of a voluntary product reformulation in 2010, which means you can enjoy it across the border. So maybe it is out there floating around somewhere in Canada. Maybe it's just in select areas out there, because it says Four Loko is not banned or illegal and is available in 49 U.S. states. So I don't know which is the one state that you can't get it. So there is one state that is not partaking in the Four Loko out there. But it's funny. You can go through some of these things here when it said, okay, it's not banned or illegal. Somebody asked a question here: is Four Loko bad for you? Are there health risks associated with drinking Four Loko? The answer?
Because I literally remember drinking it and feeling like I could run back home from Florida. I was like, oh my god.
You're amped up and ready to go.
Yeah.
so this is Four Loko bad for you? Are there health risks associated with drinking Four Loko? Only if you hate having a good time. No. Four Loko has little to no effects on health when consumed responsibly, though any alcoholic beverage, including Four Loko, can lead to increased health risks when abused. So, the same thing to us. It's like all these things, like these questions, which I guess are people what are asking. Does Four Loko have a long-term effect on your health? No, when consumed responsibly. Okay. It's like, okay, no, we don't. This says no, we don't put any caffeine in it. Is Four Loko dangerous? Absolutely not. Okay, well, is Four Loko a vodka? No, Four Loko is not a vodka, nor does it contain vodka. Four Loko is a premium malt beverage made with natural and artificial flavor.
Huh.
So
Apparently, I'm trying to find where it is in Canada. It's definitely not in Ontario.
yeah, because it says here. I guess people must be asking about it because it's a question on the Four Loko website. It says, "Is Four Loko banned in Canada?" It says,
And they're like,
you can enjoy it across. It says once they did it, you can enjoy it across the border. So it's out there somewhere.
huh. Where can I buy Four Loko? It's not telling me.
Oh, all right. Well, that'll be your homework assignment. Will be to get out there and track down the Four Loko in Canada. Once you find it, you bring it home. We'll crack it open again on the podcast to enjoy it. But while we're waiting for that, so what are you drinking there? I saw you had a nice lineup of beers that you picked up today. So what are you drinking there today?
Right now I am drinking a Muskoka Brewery craft lager. It is a craft beer from up north of our northern region in Ontario. Muskoka in Ontario is like cottage country.
Okay, I see the picture. It's got a boat.
Yeah.
So it's very, very cottage, very, very lakeside.
And
relaxing.
like the little chair above the logo, like above the Muskoka Brewery, that's like what we call Muskoka chairs.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. But we
I guess that's a Canada thing. I don't know. It looks like an outdoor chair to me. I don't know. It's like we have chairs like that in the United States, in New Jersey. I used to call it just like I don't even know what the hell we call it. It's just like a chair. I mean, I was gonna say it's not a lounge chair. It's just I forget. I don't know. I could think of what the actual name was for it.
Yeah, I really don't know how it got the name Muskoka chair, but that's just what like they're sold that way in like every store, like Walmart's, Canadian Tires. They're sold as Muskoka chairs.
Okay, see, we're learning something here today. We're learning about Canada and and their history of chairs, but. Yeah,
and I'm learning about Four Loko.
See, that's what we do here. It's fun and educational when you come here on the podcast. And since you put a nice little lineup here of your craft beers, I said, okay, I need to step it up a little bit, but not too much. We're not getting too crazy. I didn't have a chance to actually stop anywhere, so I was going through what I had left over in the fridge, and this was from a few weeks ago. So I'm starting off the night here with the Kona Big Wave, the Liquid Aloha, which is a very festive premium beer. You know, it is summertime.
Yeah.
So you got to feel like you're sitting there on the beach having a good time, and it's the Liquid Aloha, as they call it, which I think is like they call it a crisp, easy drinking beer, but I think it's in like the IPA family. I'm not usually one for IPAs, but when it's like these, when it has something extra with it, where it's not like a full IPA, because I don't know where you stand on IPAs. I mean, it's certainly a acquired taste for most people.
Yeah, I'm not a huge IPA person unless it's like you said, like has like a flavor or something mixed with it.
Yeah, like a lot of the citrus ones.
Yeah,
those which cut down on the
Hoppy.
heavy, the hoppiness, and as people say, eating like pine cones or dirt. It's like, yeah, people. Oh yeah, here's this 12% IPA I got here. It's like, man, how do you drink this stuff? I don't know. And like I said, I had some friends that are really big into IPAs, and they'll swear by it. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is great," and I take a sip. I'm like, "No, man."
Yeah,
and this one here too is only a lighter one. This is only at 4.4% alcohol, so it's an easy drinking one.
Yeah, mine is a 4.8.
Okay, so there we go. We're right on track here as we kick things off here. I mean, what's your usual go-to? I mean, are you a big beer drinker on a regular basis, or what's your usual go-tos?
I do love beer, especially in the summer. It's just like the most refreshing thing on a hot day. My go-to, I'm pretty typical. Like I'll usually just drink like Canadian or Coors Light, but I am a sucker for packaging. So like if I saw that Kona Big Wave in the beer store, I would definitely pick it up just because of the look.
It's a nice can. It's a nice looking can.
It is a nice can.
Yeah, and I've had Kona is a good beer company. I've had a few of their beers over the years, and every time I've had them, they have like a Kona Longboard Lager, I think it is, which is pretty good. Solid company. They have a lot of good beers that come out of there. And like you said, when I saw this one, it was like, yeah, what the hell? Why not give it a shot?
It looks like a good pick. Solid choice.
Yeah. I try my best to, like I said, I was trying to take it a step up a notch this week. Something a little bit different because I had it a few times recently, but haven't actually cracked it open on the podcast or featured it on the website yet. So I'm like, all right, this would be the perfect time to crack that open now. Now I do want to ask you, do you have the Stone Cold, the Broken Skull beers up there?
No, we don't have them here. It's so unfair. Stone Cold hates Canada, I guess. Like The Rock likes us. We have Terramana. Why can't Stone Cold give us a beer?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess maybe it hasn't made it out of the U.S. yet. I don't know where they're.
Is it good beer? Like I've heard people like it.
It is. Well, he has the Broken Skull IPA, which it's an IPA, but on the IPA scale from somebody who doesn't like IPAs, it's good. I can drink it. I can enjoy it. Then they came out with this year the double IPA, which is the 8% IPA, which is still it's still a decent IPA beer. As somebody who doesn't like IPAs, and I brought it to my friend's house one time. He's like, wow, this is a good IPA as well. Now the best one is the American lager, the Broken Skull American lager. That's like your regular lager beer. I think that one's like 4.8%, and that's like the beer that you would think of with Stone Cold. And I've said it many times before, and he said it, that when he was coming up with his beer, you wouldn't think of him as the IPA drinker, the guy who you saw pounding down, Miller Lite and Coors Light and Bud and stuff that on TV every week. Then it was like, oh, he's coming out with an IPA. You're like, that's a little weird, but apparently when they were coming up with whatever beer he wanted to make, they gave him the IPA to try out, and he liked it as not an IPA fan, and said, all right, we'll go with this one. And but when they came out last year with the American lager, I was like, oh, thank God. I'm like, this is the beer. This is a nice, easy drinking lager beer, 4.8%. You can sit there and drink these all day and enjoy it. I'm like, this is the Stone Cold beer. So if they ever make their way up there to Canada, try them all out. But I definitely think the American lager is the best of the three that are out there.
Every now and then I'll like tweet Stone Cold and be like, hey, do you like Canada yet? Are you ever gonna give us your beer? No? Cool. But he never responds.
No, it's very. I posted. I'm like, hey, I'm drinking your beer. Nothing. Like, oh, come on. It's like, one of these days, Stone Cold, we'll get you. You'll respond. I keep saying, hey, you want to come on the podcast? Let me know. Still waiting.
Oh, that would be sick.
You can sit. I can go sit in the store all day and just look at the different beers and be like, okay, which one do I want to get today? And especially like with your lineup you have here today. And as you said, you're the sucker for the packaging and the cans, which is always the risk. And that's the one thing I hate about craft beer is the price. I mean, the price of it, which is always a lot more, but it's always the risk of paying that price and getting a beer that you don't like. That's always a downfall.
So what's the price of a can of craft beer for you in the US?
Usually, if you were to get, usually most of the times they'll come in like a 4-pack,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably like $15-16 for like a 4-pack or so.
That's actually pretty expensive.
Yeah, some of them like those Broken Skull IPAs are usually like $13-14, maybe 15 depending on what store you're at. And the American lager is a little bit cheaper at like the $11-12 range for a 4-pack of the 16-ounce cans.
Because that's for me, I would have to add another 35% to that. Pretty expensive.
It's not cheap. I mean, what are these like these cans you got today? You got all single cans?
Yeah, so I just got single cans. I didn't have time to go. Okay, so also in Canada, we only up until like 3-4 years ago did they start allowing beer sales in grocery stores. Up until then, all alcohol had to be purchased from like one specific alcohol store.
Okay, that's what we still have here in New Jersey too, which is weird. We have the same thing too. Most grocery stores do not sell alcohol. You have to go to a separate liquor store to buy any of your other beer, wine, spirits, anything else you want. And
Even gas stations?
even gas stations too. They don't sell it either. There's
Oh.
yeah, it's one of the weirdest things. There's every other state in this country will allow you to buy it at a supermarket, a gas station, a convenience store. But here in New Jersey, there's not. There's rare occasions where you have a convenience store that has alcohol, and that's usually just because whoever took over the place had a liquor license before that they could sell it, so they're just kind of grandfathered into it. But yeah, I mean that's how I've grown up here, and that's how I've lived my life, is knowing, okay, you have to go to your separate store. You need your beer. You go to the alcohol store. You get it there. You get your groceries first, and then you stop there. And it's usually, and 9 times out of 10, it's just like a store right next to the grocery store. It's just okay. Finish getting your groceries. Just stroll over. Okay, there it is, right there. It's like in some places it's in the same store, just in a separate section of it, which is it's mind-boggling.
No, ours would always be like the liquor stores would be in like a completely separate plaza, like standalone, just to make it inconvenient for everyone.
Yeah, and that's how there are some here with that same thing here too. But it's like sometimes there are ones that are right there, right next to it. Other times it's down the road. Go down there. It's like, okay, I got to make a separate stop over here. God forbid you put it all together, make it easy for everybody. But no. So luckily, good for you guys to finally get over that hurdle to allow the sales in the grocery stores. Maybe one day we will get to that point here too.
But it's like it's pretty sad. Like it's not like a huge selection. It's just going to be your like typical basic beers. You won't get that many craft beers. You're just going to get like Canadian Bud, Coors, Miller.
Yeah.
Nothing
That's the same thing I see too. Whenever I'm in a different state and I stop in whatever grocery store there, it's usually just your basic lineup of your routine beers. Maybe they have a few craft ones separate in one of the sections of the cooler over there, but it's not the selection you'll get going to a separate store where they have everything else from all the different local breweries and things like that.
Yeah. Huh. I did not know that New Jersey was just as sad as Canada.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much. It's like we're relatives over here to you.
Man, now I feel bad for you guys. We suffer over here.
That's all right. Well, we survived that. Hey, at least we have our Stone Cold beer, so I guess we're one step ahead of you on that point. And we have Four Loko readily available here. So
wow, way to rub it in.
I'm sorry. I mean, hey, I have to say, I have my Four Loko sponsorship, so I have to keep plugging on. I got to keep toting the company line over here with it. I mean, why else would they send me this 50-cent sticker, that says I'm sponsored by Four Loko over here? But whatever. I was gonna say, but at least those are the cans you have there. Those are not what are those? The 16. Well, I suppose that's the 473 milliliter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not the itty bitty cans.
Yeah. I know. I only got the little guys over here because I just finished off that big wave already, and then I'm gonna crack open now my Black Bay Brewing Company Orange Crush IPA. So yes, it is an IPA, but is with the orange. So as we said, it masks that IPA flavor with it. Which these I actually got a few months ago when I was down in Virginia, Virginia Beach. I guess this is a local brewing company over there. Inspired by the legendary Virginia Beach Orange Crush cocktail. This beer was brewed with loads of sweet orange peels, creating a refreshing orange and vanilla bean aroma. Crush it on the beach, on a boat, or in your backyard. Wherever you are, be prepared to taste the most crushable IPA out there. Back Bay Brewing Company's Orange Crush IPA. So they're really, really selling it to you.
I would go crazy with all the options that you guys have. I wouldn't even know. I would be so overwhelmed if I saw all of those beers. I wouldn't know what to do, and then I would just want to drink them all.
You just freeze. You're like,
yeah.
What do I do?
Like I'd have to make somebody else pick them for me.
Right. I say, okay, which one do you think I should have? You say, and trust it. Like I said, that's. I mean, it's the same problem I have too. Whenever I go out and I go and I look up and down at the shelves, I go up the aisles, I'm looking in the cooler, and I'm like, all right, well, which beer do I want to get today? You're like, okay, well, do I want this one, that one? And then 9 times out of 10, I'll end up getting like the same thing over. Like, you know what? Okay, maybe I don't want to try this. But as I said before, it's that risk you take with something new, and you spend the money on it. You're like, well, crap, if I don't like it, and if it's a single can, a single beer, no problem. But if you're committing to something that's in like a 12-pack or more, you're like, great. If I don't like this, now I'm stuck with it. I mean, I'll end up drinking it eventually. I'm not gonna let it go to waste. But still, I'd rather get something that I know I'll enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. That's, I guess, another good thing is like, maybe not a good thing, but like all of our craft beer only comes in singles.
Yeah.
Like
See, that's good.
Very rarely find it in like a 4-pack or a 6-pack. Yeah. And it's usually because by then it's like blown up and become very popular.
Right. Which in that case, it's good that you get to say, okay, I'm getting one can, try it out, and see how it is. The next thing you know, next time you go back, you get the same thing, you get something different, you try it out, and go from there. And I mean, because I think you guys do have a lot of breweries by where you are over there?
We do. We actually surprisingly have a lot, given how much smaller we are than you guys. But we do have a lot of breweries. I'm always shocked by how many different ones. Like, and I'll go to the beer store or the liquor store, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, this is new!" I'm like, where does it even come from?
Yeah, I think Canada has really picked up the pace over the years of their brewing and really getting into that craft beer. I'm not going to say that there's nothing else to do in Canada, but drink beer or brew beer. I mean, it's the Canadian. I don't want to give the Canadian stereotype of what we have.
I mean, all we do is watch hockey and drink beer.
I was gonna say. I mean, that's like it's the national pastime over there. I mean, so
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just you crack open your Molson and turn on the hockey, and you're good to go. I mean, it sucks now when it's the summer. There's no hockey. Well, I guess no. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of hockey on TV over there. There's probably something going on, just not not NHL hockey at this point.
Yeah, there's probably like you could watch like minor leagues and like Pee Wee hockey.
Yeah.
Or oh my god, what is it called? when they're not on skates? Ball hockey?
Oh, but I know, like are you talking about on just like the foot?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what the hell? I forget what exactly. It's just like floor. Is it not floor hockey? I don't think. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like you find something, there'll be some sort of hockey on TV in Canada. That at this point, you'll find something out there. People want their hockey and their beer.
Yeah, or we'll just like watch replays of old games.
Yeah, whatever it takes. As long as there's beer involved, then
Yep.
people are happy with it there, which is good.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, and this Orange Crush here, this is a 6.1%. So creeping up from that 4.4% Kona now to the 6.1. And I did do a feature on this maybe a month or so ago on the website as well, after I had brought it back from Virginia. So it's definitely a crush. And it's funny, when I posted a picture of it, my cousin said, "Oh, did you ever have this, like, when you put the beer in the freezer and you forget about it, and it's pretty much like a slushy?" And he's like, you got to try it like that. And I'm like, you know what? I did. I said I did, because when I was down there at the hotel we were staying at, I picked up the 6-pack, and then I brought it up there, and they always have those mini fridges on like the lowest setting, so it's barely cold. So I'm like, shit, I gotta get these beers cold. So I put the beers in the fridge, turned it like all the way up, and then left it like that overnight. I totally forgot that I put it up that high. So I opened up the fridge the next morning, and I touched the beer can. I'm like, oh crap. I'm like, this thing's like solid as a rock here. So I had to take it out, take the can out. I put it out on the table on the balcony for a little bit to sit in the sun to let it defrost a little bit. So I got it to that point where it was defrosted enough, but it still had the ice crystals in it. So it was kind of like a little orange slushy at that time. And that was really good. So when he told me that, I'm like, funny story. You said that, because I'm like, by accident, I screwed it up and left it in the fridge that was too cold overnight. And the next morning, it was nice and frosty for me there.
But it didn't like explode in the freezer?
No, surprisingly not. That's what I was afraid of, because it was like the can had gotten to that point where it was starting to expand. And I'm like, great. And because originally when I went to pick this, when I got this, I stopped at, I was scouting around at one of the convenience stores, and I saw the 6-pack on the shelf. It had no price on it, so I brought it up to the register. They go to scan it. It's not coming up with any price. Yeah, she keeps trying and trying. She calls over somebody else to try it. It's not working. At this point, the line is starting to grow of people waiting, and I'm like, oh well, if it's not ready, if it doesn't ring up, you just give it to me for free, right? She's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm like, well, come on. And so apparently they found whatever 6-pack was next to it and charged me the price for that, which was probably a couple bucks cheaper for it. But I was really hoping I was going to get that free 6-pack out of it. I'm like, look, I'm standing here for 10 minutes. I'm at the one register doing this. The other guy's, I think, trying to buy lottery tickets at the next one. And the line is backing up out of the store. It's like, look.
Oh my God.
Just give me the 6-pack for free. It's not ringing up. And I bought a couple other things. I think I bought a 40 of I think Ice House and something else. So it's not like I was buying other things too. So it wasn't just giving this to me for free. I'm like, just come on, just give me one here. But no, they wouldn't budge.
I think that's a law in Canada that if a grocery item scans incorrectly, then you get it for free.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah, you would have for sure won.
I'm like, oh, great. All right. Free beer. All right. Perfect. Bring it over. But definitely good. Definitely good. Like, as we said, with the IPA, the orange does a good job of really masking the hoppiness of it there. Good beer. Are you still having that same one? Have you moved on? I know you have a couple other ones that I don't know how crazy you were looking to get today, but
I can't get too crazy. I do have to wake up and go to work tomorrow morning.
I know. I hear you.
So that's why I limited myself to 3. I'm like, okay, if we're gonna drink them all, we drink 3.
Right. Yeah. If I get 3, then I know I can't go any further than this. If I get more, then you never know what might happen.
Yeah.
Right. Now the main reason I guess that we're here chatting today, that I know you're mainly a big wrestling fan, as I am to it, and we've kind of gone back and forth over the years of. I mean, I think we might have brought up the podcast once before in the past in passing about doing it, but I know that most people who follow you know that you very much like to. I guess do you call them like your mini rants or during the shows that that goes on, because you're very quick and precise with your little
I wouldn't say it's a rant, more just like my reaction.
Okay, reaction. I was gonna say outburst, but there's really usually nothing too bad to go through. Which is funny which is really kind of unique in a way, because not many people will do that. I mean, most people will go through and they'll do a podcast after. They'll do a full big reaction to it. Yeah. But you kind of go through as the show's going on and you give your thoughts about it, which is unique.
Mostly I chose to do it that way because, one, I'm like too lazy to type it out.
It's like I could send a well, I was gonna say you could send a tweet or a post or whatever we're calling it now on the Twitter, because that's the thing that you said you're still running Twitter in Canada, right? They haven't switched over fully to the X yet.
So I have it on my phone where I have to manually go and update it.
Okay, so you haven't done it yet.
Still Twitter, but when I turned on my iPad, it switched to X because it has the automatic update. And I'm like, no, get off of my phone.
The tweet, the X, the post, whatever the hell you want to call it.
God, I heard he already got the sign taken down in wherever he is.
And now it's just the big. So it's just the big X up there now. That's it.
Yeah, so he put it up, and within like a day, they had him remove it because it was like it was against some laws because it was too bright.
How come I'm not surprised about that? Yeah, but anyway, but yeah. So I guess instead of having to type out your reactions as most people would do when they send their posts, you'd like to just do your little video clips as the shows go on. If it's Raw or SmackDown or AEW, and everything there, which is good. Because I mean, it's like I said, it's always these quick little hits of just like, okay, nobody cares about this, or this show is boring. It's like, all right, yeah, you're right.
I'm trying not to like rag on shit. Like, so mostly with Raw, I find it's really hard to give like positive reactions. So I'm trying not to be as negative online. So during Raw, there'll be like 1 or 2 posts only.
Yeah. I think that was like this week. Then you were like, this show's boring. I'm done. I'm not watching anymore.
Yeah, by like 10 o'clock, I'm like, well, okay, that was enough. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah. With all these things these days, there's really no reason you have to sit there and watch the shows anymore. I don't think I've sat through a full episode of really any wrestling show in like a few years at this point. I'll just go through the next day and go through the clips online, and that's pretty much all you need these days. I mean, yes, I'm not as diehard of a fan as I used to be with it, so I'm more kind of casual with the current product these days. And if I'm home and I'm not doing anything, yes, I'll put on more than likely I'll usually watch AEW more than Raw or SmackDown these days. But
Mhm.
it's not like it used to be where it'd be like, okay, I need to sit here and it's okay, it's 9 o'clock on Monday. It's Raw time. Now it's like, I'll catch up on it the next day.
Yeah, for me, Raw is just like background noise at this point. Like it's on, but I'm always doing something else, or I'm not really paying attention as much. I'll always, pretty much always watch AEW on Wednesday, and then SmackDown usually. But I find in the summer it's hard because like it's Friday, it's the summer, you want to be out. Just the same with Saturdays. So
Right. Right. Yeah, that's why it's like, okay, when AEW is like, okay, we're doing Collision now on Saturday nights. It's like, okay, Saturday nights at 8 o'clock.
yeah,
Do most people want
it's
to
the
be
summer.
at home? Yeah, in the summer on that.
Yeah, it was a terrible time to start. I think if they
Yeah.
started like in the winter, they would have had a more successful launch. But like just try and start in the summer is tough.
Right. Yeah. If they waited for like the fall season to start,
Yeah.
like September, you'd probably be a
Mhm.
lot better off at that point. But starting in June or whenever it was, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, you're really trying. And yes, I mean, we're not here. I'm not gonna. It's like, yes, some shows some weeks do better than others depending on what's going on the
Yeah.
show. But still, I mean, a lot of things these days. I mean, you're not gonna get the ratings you used to get for
No.
shows, no matter what. So it's
Plus,
just
like
like, all right,
the ratings don't obviously include like illegal streaming, so
right,
I'm
right,
not really getting the real
right.
numbers because realistically, how many people still have cable?
Exactly, right. I mean, how many people are watching it, streaming it from who knows where, and just
Mhm.
finding a way to watch it?
Yeah.
Uh, but and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, all right. Yeah, but it's funny though when you you go through and you see some of the things. Like I know when you watch some of these, and I like the one when you bring up the thing like the funny thing is when I wasn't watching the SmackDown a few weeks ago when somebody brought in the balloon to SmackDown during the Roman Reigns thing. You're like, how did someone get a foil balloon here of
Oh, that's like now one of my favorite things because I started noticing signs in the crowd, and now I'm like obsessed with noticing the people in the crowd. Like the
I
other
like to do
day,
that too. Yeah, you go through, you point out, okay, who's the wacky people there?
what I think it was on, I don't know when it was. Oh, maybe it was Saturday or Friday. I was watching wrestling, and somebody had a sign and it says, "I don't like horses," and I thought that was funny because Demon Diva, she hates horses. So I wanted to snap a picture and send it to her. But the guy had like 7 other signs and he wouldn't put up the sign again. So I was like not
just
focusing on the
right,
match.
right.
I'm just
You're like,
watching this
constantly
stupid
rotating them. You're
guy.
like, all right, when is he gonna put that one back up again? All right, waiting for it. All right, all right.
And then I started noticing that he was like yelling at some other dude in the crowd, and I'm like, oh my god, they're fighting. And I was more interested in these two than like, oh, I think it was the FTR and Adam Cole MJF match, and I was literally more invested in this guy with his 7 signs.
That's it. You pick somebody in the crowd to focus on. I've done that before too. It's just as if you're out there in public doing like people watching
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and watching all that. You're like, okay, well, where's that guy in the crowd? Okay, who's there in the front row? What are they doing? It's like, oh, okay, all right. He was there. Okay, now he's talking to this guy. He moves over there. It's like,
His other sign, one of his 7 signs that he was holding up, said, um, "MJF eats corn the long way." So that one was pretty good too.
yeah,
But I've
well,
seen it. I've seen these like corn eating signs before. I saw one for Roman Reigns at a WWE show a couple weeks ago. I don't know why they're fascinated with people eating corn the long way.
yeah. Well, wrestling fans. I mean, we know have their own.
Ugh.
I was gonna say not agendas, but they're a different breed
Oh
of
my god,
people,
yes.
which is the wrestling Twitter or X world, whatever you're calling it these days.
It's
Uh,
always gonna be Twitter.
I know I can't. It's been too long. It's like that. That's where it all originated from. It's still Twitter to us. Damn it! It's still real to us. But yeah, the wrestling Twitter can be a very interesting and dark and not pleasant place at times with people. So
yeah, and especially with AEW, I find like because they'll bring a lot of people from different promotions and indies and stuff, and I don't watch anything else besides WWE and AEW. I mean, I don't even have time. I don't have time to even watch NXT, right? So it was that Nick Wayne guy debuted.
Okay.
And everyone was going crazy. And I'm like, I have no idea who this is. So I was like, okay, Twitter, be gentle with me. Who the fuck is he?
Yeah. They're like, wait, you don't know who this is? You didn't know this guy? He wrestled, 5 years ago at this one place with 100 people there. And it's like, all right, dude, calm down. And it's like, you get one thing wrong and people just like, they just
oh my goodness,
like blow their shit up. It's like, oh my God, you don't know. It's like, dude, calm down. It's still, at the end of the day, it's still wrestling. It's still, it's like any other sport.
And it's very like specific, like wrestlers fandoms just go ape shit if you say something bad about them.
Yeah, very sensitive people out there.
They are.
Yeah, like I said, you get one person the wrong way, and they just like go off the deep end and just start like flipping out all these things with wrestling and everything. But I mean, we tried to kind of keep it a little bit lighter because one of the things we had talked about before doing this podcast was coming up with some sort of a tweet to see what kind of responses we could get from people and see how people react to certain questions. I mean, do you want to bring it up and you want to tell everybody kind of what you put out there to see what kind of responses you would get?
For sure. Yeah. I just wanted to put out some like funny questions. I would get like ridiculous responses from the wrestling community. And you know what? They did not disappoint. They were pretty funny. So the first question I had asked the Twitter world was, what are some things that can be heard in wrestling and also in a relationship / situationship? My response going first was, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
And that's true. It will be. It will be a slobber knocker. That's real. It'll be a drop down, drag out brawl.
Because there's also so many times when I'm watching wrestling and the commentary, and I'm like, if you didn't know that this was wrestling, sometimes you could think that it's like they're like narrating porn.
Oh yeah, you're like there's one of the classic ones. It was a clip that JR said. I think it was around the TLC matches time where it was he said he's like, oh, and Edge or Lita jerks Edge off the ladder. It's like there was like a delay between it. I was like, oh yeah, and Lita jerks Edge off. Then he must have thought he's like the ladder. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, like yes, there's a lot of things like that where it's like, oh, gets behind him or like putting it really putting it in there. You're like, wait, what was that?
It's one that they always say, like the commentators will always say it, and it's like, or they're like, oh, he's unloading on him in the corner.
It's really a lot. Okay, all right, hey, all right, yeah, just.
And every time I hear it, I giggle. I'm like,
yeah, it's like, yeah.
But they do say it a lot, like an absurd amount.
There's a lot of situations like that where, like you said, if somebody walks in the room when you're watching, and they just be like, what the hell did they just say? It's like, look, it's wrestling. It's different from anything else.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Like, yes, it might not sound great, but trust me, they mean well with it.
Yeah. So some other responses that we got was, finish the story.
Let's see. You had the probably in one of the first one was the scissor me daddy, which is like the one of these standard ones these days.
Yep. Oh, someone else brought up a Attitude Era one. Let's get ready to suck it.
Yeah.
What else
Let's
do we
see.
got?
I see. Oh no, she's a good hand. All right.
Check out that high stack pin, ankles right at their head.
I mean, well, yes, the Daniel Bryan, yes. I mean, that's the. I mean, that's just a given. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
like here comes the small package. I don't know if you want to really be, and buddy, I don't know if you really want to be promoting that, but hey, I mean that.
Someone put Nia Jackson image and when she
I
went, my hole.
I literally just I saw that. I was just looking at it now, and I had to hit like the view more tweets, and it came up there. I was like, yeah, that could definitely be one of them out there. It's like, because when that happened, that was one of those ones when that Nia Jackson came out with the my hole. That was like amazing. The amount how that blew up with people out there.
People are quick. The internet is quick with that stuff.
It is. The second something comes out there, it's like within like seconds.
It never ceases to amaze me how insanely funny some people can be and how they can think of these things so fast.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, well, I would have thought of that maybe like 3 days after the fact, but somebody's like, no, 5 minutes after. Yeah, it's already out, and you're like, oh crap, I could have done that.
Yeah,
right. It's like a whole big thing out there. It's like, okay, all right. I mean, we got the. Oh yeah, here's and there's a double team. You know that 2-on-1 situation was going to come into play here, folks. Hey,
mommy's always on top.
See, a lot of people have the quick responses out there. If somebody, well, like I said, a 5-star classic. I mean, if you're giving out star ratings for your your sexual encounters, then okay. I mean, kudos to you. I mean,
but imagine you're in an actual relationship and your partner every time gives you a star rating.
Like, okay, that wasn't very good. That's 2 stars this week.
Tonight was only a 2-star. We're gonna bump it up.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's a dud. Like what? Negative 2 stars. Like what? It's like, oh well, we didn't even start and you finished already. Okay, well, all right. Yeah, if you did that, I mean, I'm gonna say if you had keeping a tally of your star ratings for, it's like people go back to the old observers and Dave Meltzer and going, okay, what star ratings did he get? It's like, okay, well, we had sex this night on July 2nd, and that was only a 2-star affair, but you really regrouped on the 15th. That was a 3.5-star encounter. So good for you.
God, I feel like that would be a very anal type of person, and not like
right. But I don't know. You don't put it out. I bet if you put that out there, I want to say I hope nobody's doing that, but I get the feeling there's probably somebody that is.
I feel wasn't that in a show?
Maybe.
I feel like I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be like How I Met Your Mother. Like Barney for sure did that.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't a star rating. Maybe or something similar to it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna crack open here. I got my 3rd beer of the.
I just opened my 2nd beer.
Okay, all right. Well, you do have, they are bigger cans over there. I mean, these are only the 355 milliliter cans. So which
I went to a concert, a couple of weeks ago, and I bought a round of drinks for me and my friends. So 4 cans of beer, the little cans.
Okay, what was that? What was that? $50?
$65.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not eating this week. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because those concert beers are so. I mean, the last time, probably I guess almost. Yeah, it was literally a year ago because I saw a memory pop up my feed from a concert I was at last year, and it's like at least that one it was like 13, like $1.50 for a beer. I mean, they were giving you like the 24-ounce cans, like the tall cans, but still, I'm like, I can buy this same can at the liquor store for like $2-3, and you're charging $13 for this.
It should be illegal.
For this can here.
It should be illegal.
Yeah, and especially if you're saying you're just getting like a regular standard like beer, and it's like, okay, 4 beers, $60. You're like,
I literally had like heart palpitations.
Yeah,
I was like, no. I'm like, do you want a tip? I'm like, I'm sorry, no, I can't.
Yeah, well, this is you turn the thing around. Okay, you want to leave a tip? Oh, you're giving me a beer. I'm paying $60 already. You know, it's like,
yeah, you're not actually bringing it to my seat either. You're just handing it to
I'm
me.
going over to you to purchase it. It's like, it's one thing if you're at a bar and you're getting drinks. Yes, definitely you're getting a tip at that point, and it's not going to be a $13 beer. Usually, no. I mean, but if it's like a big giant, glass of like a draft beer or something, it's like, look, no, if you're just handing me the beer, I'm at a concert, I'm going over to you, it's just purchasing it. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So which one did you crack open now?
So now I'm drinking the Steam Whistle Premium Pilsner. Steam Whistle is a brewery from like downtown Toronto. They're like their brewery is right beside like the CN Tower and the Sky Dome, which I'm pretty sure means nothing to you, but
okay. I mean, I know the Sky Dome, but that's it.
So the CN Tower is like the big stick that's like right beside the Sky Dome.
Okay.
It's like our main attraction. It was the tallest building in the world for like the longest time until that building in Dubai was built.
They took over.
Yeah, they took over.
You had your claim to fame over there.
Yeah, we did for a good while. But then now it's like double, so we're like, cool. We just have a tiny little stick.
Man, they're trying to steal your thunder over there.
Right? Like we have nothing. Just give us the tallest building.
Yeah, so I cracked open here. I couldn't make it 3 quote unquote craft beers through it, so I had to crack open the classic, the brewing excellence since 1845, the Boxer Ice, which is using pure 2-row grown malted in Saskatchewan. That's where they get the so Canadian. So it is a Canadian-ish beer. I mean, it's brewed in Wisconsin. It's right by Canada, but so somewhat Canadian. So I kept it on somewhat point with you here, having a Canadian guest on here, a half somewhat Canadian beer.
Well, there you go. And I just learned that is from Canada, and we do sell it here.
See, now you add that to the list. Add that to search for that one too. With the Four Loko, now you can get the Boxer. And they have this is the Boxer Ice here that I have, but they have the Boxer Lager, the Boxer Light. There's a whole variety of them out there. Is it the best beer in the world? No, but even after having these two and like the quote unquote like higher class beers, and then I take a sip of this and I'm like, ooh. I'm like, all right, that's all right. This Boxer beer, but it's still beer. It gets the job done. 5.5% alcohol. So we started at the 4.4. We went up to 6.1, and then took a step back down to 5.5. So right in that little range if we're doing a little graph here.
So you know what else? I don't know why I always thought this was like a myth or something, but I remember always growing up and being like, Americans have like water for beer, and they were always like, oh, whenever like Americans come to Canada and they drink beer, they get like drunk off of one beer because our beer is so much stronger.
I guess like, that's kind. I mean, that's like, kind of like the. I guess that's kind of just like the the myth, I guess, about Canada and having stronger beers, which I guess in theory, I guess there are a lot of. I guess maybe because it's like I know some of those Molson one. Like if you get like, I mean, I've had like the Molson Triple X before, which is like the 8% beer. Like something like that can really knock you on your ass quick.
But that's like not our regular beer. Like,
yeah, it's not like it's not like an everyday beer.
Yeah, but I remember going to like a bar with an American here, and they were like drunk off of like 2 beers, and I was like, "What's happening?" And then they're like, "Oh, your beer's so strong." And I'm like, "Is it?"
It's like it doesn't seem that strong to me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean,
but again, maybe this is like back in the day before like beer became craft and cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you think about like it's always like your Coors Light, Miller Lite, like,
Yeah.
all those beers always have that quote unquote like, oh, it's just water with some alcohol in it. That it doesn't really have much taste to it. Sure, it will get you a buzz, it will get you drunk, but you have to drink like 10 of them to get to that point. And then people always thought of Canada as this big, like, strong beer country. It's like you said before, the Canadians, they love their beer and they love their hockey. Yeah. That's what they have up there. And I mean, yeah, I mean, maybe it's a myth, or it is just some of the beers are stronger, but
I don't know.
I mean, even if you think like, I mean, let me see, like I think like a regular, I mean,
but even like me, like looking at like a 6 point something beer, I'm like, whoa, that's strong.
Right.
And we don't even have Molson Triple X in Canada. Like,
yeah.
what is happening? I'm looking now because I'm like, what the hell is Molson Triple X?
Yeah, see, they have it here.
Even sell it here.
I'm like, I know they have it. I'm like, because I know there's that. I mean, because I know I've had that sometimes, and there's some places I can get that over here, and there's another.
It's just not here. Nope, they don't sell it here.
Yeah, see, that's a shame. You'd think that's you're promoting that Canadian beer, and you don't even sell it there. Or Molson Ice. I mean, that's another one.
Molson Ice we sell here.
I guess like your regular Molson.
Yeah.
I mean, because is Molson still like the big Canadian beer? I mean, I guess that's the one that I've always thought of as like the Canada beer. I mean, I don't know. Maybe something has anything else taken over that?
Well, like
there?
Molson Canadian. No, Molson Canadian is like your go-to beer for everywhere.
Okay.
At like any sporting event, but then again, like it's all American beers now that I'm thinking about it. It's you've got Canadian, or then you've got Coors Light, Bud Light.
Right. All those other beers have creeped in to Canada, so it's not like, and even the Molson Canadian is a 5% beer, so it's not anything crazy. I don't know if it's just the perception of drinking it in Canada that somehow gets you drunker quicker. It's
I feel like I've been lied to my whole life.
Yeah, or okay, no, I mean, I guess I don't know. Labatt Blue is. I mean, I guess it's the world's best-selling Canadian beer. I mean, I guess that's the other one.
That's because like old like drunk dads drink that crap. that is not a good beer. That is not something that like you know. Like if somebody's ordering that at a bar, you're just like, oh, okay, you've got a lot to unpack, so no thanks.
Man, when's the last time I've had I mean, I know I've had Labatt Blue before. But it's been a while since I've had a Labatt Blue. Would you put it that way?
Like back in the day, like that's what my dad used to drink was Labatt Blue, and now it's just like.
Oh, okay. I was going back and looking. I was like, I was looking at my untapped check-ins, and I guess I did have one back in October of last year. Yeah.
Were you in Canada or?
No, that was here. I was in the U.S. No, I guess I picked up a tall can of it for because they do have it here. I mean, I find it every now and then, but it's never anything that I go out of my way to get.
Yeah.
And then now that you put it that way, it's like I'll stay away from the Labatt Blue. If I'm going Canadian beers, I'll go with the Molson instead. I don't want the the stigma of the Labatt Blue, because I was searching for it. It was like when I saw it pop up, I'm like, okay, Molson Canadian. Then I was like, oh yeah, Labatt Blue. That's the other Canadian beer, and it's like, no, don't. You don't want to drink that.
Well, I'm sure in the US it wouldn't have the same stigma.
No, not now. I mean, unless people get the word of what you're saying, and they're like,
But yeah, here it definitely has that stigma.
yeah, stay away. You go to Canada, don't get the Labatt Blue. Whatever you do,
Yeah, don't think you're cool and like trying to impress a Canadian chick by ordering a Labatt Blue. It will not work.
Yeah, no. Stick with the Molson and get that done there. And so, what was the other question we had? You posted another question, right, on the.
Yes. So, what is an ick that you get when watching wrestling? Mine was when they're running down the ramp, and then they kind of like slow down and like shuffle a little before they slide in. I just hate it.
Let's see. Now there was a good one here that I saw, and it's not an ick. I mean, at least not for me anyway. But it is one that you bring up. You're like, okay, well, it doesn't really make much sense. It was said when they have to play their music for a run-in, gets a pop, but the thought of a guy running to the sound guy to play his music before running out seems odd. Which is true. Which it makes a ton of sense. When when you're like, okay, two people are fighting, then all of a sudden somebody's music hits.
Yeah.
Not in the match, and they run down. It's like, okay, well, if you're thinking, you're like, okay, well, this guy would have had to go over, had the idea, okay, I'm going to go run in and disrupt this match. But he goes over to the sound guy first and says, hey, can you, like, please play my music? And wouldn't they just say, like, no, you're not in this match. You can't do this, but then they play it. And they come out. So it's one of those things that logically it makes a lot of sense of why this shouldn't happen, but you understand why it does when it's like, okay, well, they play the music, so then they get the pop and they run out.
There's a lot of people who have icks about run-ins, apparently. There's like 3 or 4 about run-ins. Yeah. Because there was another one when when they do their full entrance.
Yeah.
But they're to do a run-in. It's like the 2 people are fighting, and it's like, do they stop and just stare at you while you're doing your run-in, but you're still doing your entrance?
Yeah, you have to kind of like stall a bit. And you're like, wait, you're running in here, you're doing like your whole entrance, dancing around. And it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stand here and wait for you. You do your thing. You do you.
Jeff Hardy did it recently when he was like coming out to save Matt or something. And then like the music hits and he starts like dancing down the thing.
You're like, don't you think you should move? And especially when it's the times when they do that and whoever they're coming to save is still getting beat down in the ring. And you're like, these up here just dancing around, waving his arms, and you're like, dude, you should, pick up the pace a little bit and get out there and help. But hey, man, you do you.
Someone else said wrestlers who stop doing their move mid-move because the wrestler's music hits or they show up on the big screen. But that I understand. Like, if I'm wrestling and then all of a sudden music hits, I'm going to be like, whoa.
Yeah, you're shocked. You're shocked, so you just kind of freeze where you are, and you're like, all right, wait, what happened? And you just drop it, drop the guy down, and then go. Yeah, but I can see too where you're like, well, why don't you just finish doing the move you're doing or attempting to do, and then you can acknowledge the person up there on the ramp. There's a lot of people have their irks, people have their little
their ick.
Yeah, their icks as you call it, when it comes to wrestling. Between that and what we had gone through before with the things you could say between wrestling and a relationship, and if you're rating your 5-star sexual encounters, then hey, kudos to you. I mean, did you hit that magic 6 stars? I mean, it's was it that damn good? You know, it's like, okay.
If people are hitting those 6 stars, they're gonna get married soon.
Right. You'd hope so, anyway. No, but hey, you know, we'll think of some more. We'll throw some more out there in the future, because we'll definitely have to get together again to do another show. You want to tell everybody where they can find you out there on the social medias of the world?
Yeah, for sure. You can follow me on Twitter at KayFabeulous, or follow me on Instagram at Amanda_KayFabeulous.
There you go. Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap things up here?
No, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. We took a lot of deep dives here. I mean, a lot of, going into that beer, you got a lot of homework to go through when it comes to the booze and the alcohol. You got to go searching for that Four Loko, because according to Four Loko, they say it's in Canada. Where in Canada? I don't know. It's a big country, so I don't know where it is compared to where you are. You might have to hit the road and go find it.
I'll find it. That is my mission for the week.
Yeah, get out there and find that Four Loko, and some boxer beer.
Yes. That I'm pretty sure I can find.
That like I said, I was saying before we started recording, I said, I'm like, it's most likely out there. You've just never thought about looking for it, and you've probably seen it. You probably passed by it a million times on the shelf and just walked by it, not giving it any thought. You're like, okay, boxer beer, there's a crown on this thing, and like, how cheap is this? All right, I'll move on to something else.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, hey, Amanda, I appreciate you coming on the podcast here, hanging out, having some drinks, chatting about the what was it? It was the value beers, right? That's what they were calling the boxer, I believe you said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we categorize it as value
beers, and I call it the budget beers, the bottom shelf beers, but the value beers. See, that makes it sound so much more classier. Yeah. But hey, thanks again. Great chat with you. We definitely have to do it again
for sure,
and we will make that happen. We'll get the good stuff for you there. So be sure to check out Amanda, give her a follow. I'll put up all the links on the website where they can find you over at bumwinebob.com. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff for Bumming with Bobcat on your favorite podcast apps and on Premier Podcast Network. And until next time, cheers.
I need a beer.